Hi, everyone. Welcome to Watchbots Prime. It's Ben. I had a weird day a few days ago, and I have this platform, so I feel compelled to talk about it, which is fun. So I had a day last week where I was home alone, and I had a few errands to run, right? So the day started off, I went to the drive-thru to get a coffee, get to the window to place my order, and my window is frozen shut. Now, it's New England winter, so, it happens, but I start to get nervous because these are the sort of situations I do not thrive under. I opened the door, I shouted my order out the window, it was fine. There were a few cars in front of me, but I blasted the heat in the defroster and I was like, please, please, please unfreeze, because this is one of those drive-thrus where you can't go around. Like, once you're in it, you're in it. There's no backing out. There's no other lane out. So I have to deal with this. And I get to the window to pay and it's still frozen. So now I have to get out of the car to go up to the window. And it's not a big deal. Objectively in my head, I know that, but I just feel like such a goddamn pariah, standing at the window, handing my stuff out. I drop my debit card on the ground. I'm fumbling around. It's just, God, it sucked. And of course I pulled away and the window went down. So fuck that. I also had to drop off some cable equipment with my cable company, who I won't publicly shame, but let's say their name rhymes with checks in your tea. All I had to do was drop off a fucking cable box. Not a big deal. But they bring me back and they have to check the equipment in. And then the lady decides she wants to try to sell me cell phone service. And it's like, oh, God, just put a fucking knife in my head. And my response verbatim was, well, I'm not going to do better than what I have. And she said, oh, do you work for one of the providers? And I looked her dead in the eye and I said, sure do. Told her I worked for Verizon. Folks, this is not true. I do not work for Verizon. And again, I could feel the sweat start to come up on my forehead because this woman had no reason not to believe me. It's not that. But the lie was so flimsy. And she just kept talking about the cell phone service and asking how Verizon worked that I could just feel it start to crumble. And it would not have been particularly hard. But I got out of there alive. And then I went to the grocery store because I wanted some Mountain Dew Zero Sugar. You might have seen the ads with Bryan Cranston. It's a new Dew. Mountain Dew is delicious. I love Mountain Dew, but Diet Mountain Dew sucks ass. So I was hoping this was a middle ground. Spoiler, it's 6.5 out of 10. It's fine. But I pick up a 12-pack. It's in the cardboard box. I start to walk away. And then I hear cardboard start to rip. And then this thing bursts all over the ground. So cans are dropping out. They're exploding on the ground. They're covering my legs in sweet, sweet sugar-free Dew. And I'm just looking around and I don't know what to do. Dew not being a pun here. Just I was lost. There was nobody else around, but I could feel cameras and there's just soda spraying. So I did what any normal person would do. Push everything off to the side, tip the spraying cans up so that they would just dribble. And then I picked up another 12-pack and walked away. So it was a weird day. It was also capped off by getting a text message from the Mike Bloomberg campaign. And this is especially weird because the Mike Bloomberg campaign should have no way to have my contact information, except I jokingly brought up Mike Bloomberg several times on last week's recordings. So Big Brother's out there. That's the big lesson. It was a weird day. We're getting to nut cutting time on The Bachelor. We're down to the final four. This week was hometowns. And hometowns are fucking dumb. I think that's what I've decided. So they go to the ladies' hometowns. So he just visits these people and they go on some contrived date. So with the girl from Tennessee, they go axe throwing because her dad wants a real man and axe throwing is the way to get there. There was one time in college where a friend of mine got some throwing knives and we were hucking them in a dorm room just at a wooden coffee table. That was pretty dangerous. But a good time was had by all. Anyway, the point of this is there's this woman, Victoria, and stories broke months ago, during filming, that she is a bit of a homewrecker, which is a bummer. And while on their hometown date, one of Peter's ex-girlfriends just happened to be there and filled him in. And he asked Victoria about it. And she just flipped her shit at him. But because he wants to sleep with her, he kept her around. So we're getting to the end. We're down to 3 women with very tan skin, who one of them is a virgin, one of them is a homewrecker, and the other is exceptionally bland. So there you go. That's The Bachelor. Now on to this week. Hedgehog Mania is sweeping the U.S. Sonic the Hedgehog, #1 movie in America, surprisingly well-reviewed. But what's old is new again. So it seemed like a good time to revisit the old Sonic Mania, right? The 90s, kids were, they were cool. They were hip. They were rock and rolling. And we had to watch a weird one. So we're watching the one, the only Sonic Underground.
Triplets born, the throne awaits. A seer warns of a deadly fate. Give up your children, separate. Bide your time, lie in wait. Sonic Underground, Sonic Underground. They made a vow their mother will be found. The children grow, learn what's right. Leaders of the freedom fight. They seek their mother, she knows they do. Is it time? If she only knew. Will the prophecy come true? Sonic Underground, Sonic Underground.
I long for my children, but I have to wait. To act too soon could seal their fate.
They made a vow their mother will be found. Sonic Underground.
This is another one by our old French friends at Deek, and it feels very French. I also don't remember Sonic being a triplet who's in a rock band and looking for his mother, but c'est la vie, artist interpretation and all that stuff. But it's an interesting one. We are watching what is described on YouTube as the first episode, and it was the first episode aired in the US, but the 26th in France. So some shady shit abounding, or sloppy at least. I guess it's not shady. Actually, the show's pretty shady as well, but it's fun. But if you like Sonic or not, or you're a Robotnik man or lady, hit us up. Email at watchbotspod.com, Twitter at watchbotspod. You know all this stuff already. But we'll talk to you on Monday. This has been, I'm out of here. And until next week, do as Sonic does and gorge that ass on some chili dogs. You only live once, right? YOLO. See ya.